Hi everyone, I'm Matt Oster-Pollock. I am a board member here at Evangel, and I am currently sitting here with Pastor Shane, and we're here talking about the new possible upgrades that we're planning on doing within the building here. I've been coming here for a long time, and we've had a couple cosmetic things here and there that have freshened up the church a little bit more to make it a little bit more functional, but I think we're kind of in that time that there needs to be a little bit more now. So I was wondering, what are some of these upgrades that we're talking about?
Well, we've looked at our building, and part of some of the decisions that we made was based on the feedback, again, from the Evangel Discovery Tour questions in regards to, okay, what are we passionate about? What are our core values? And one of those things was connecting with people. And a lot of our building upgrades has to do with that. But also, one of the feedback that we got was also how much this church has loved doing productions in the past. So I'll start with that. So the first thing that we want to do is change our stage and update our lighting. And so what we want to do on the stage is we want to make the stage all one level. And if we make it all one level, it's way more accessible to everyone. And so that's really good. Plus, it's more functional that when we want to do productions in the future, and that was a big thing that we got back from the Evangel Discovery Tour, that we want to do productions. We feel like this is part of what we loved doing in the past and we want to continue to do. Well, flattening out the stage is going to make it way more accessible and way more functional in order to do those kind of productions.
Absolutely.
Right. And so also we want to update our lighting. Again, the lighting will enhance what we can do for our productions. It's also going to obviously make things brighter on Sundays, which is what we want so that we can see everybody and everybody's visible and it's also safer, right? So
no one's falling off the stage.
So again, That's what we want to do as far as the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing we want to do is change our seating. And so the way that we want to do that is to get chairs. Some of you know that some of the chairs that we have in the overflow areas are movable chairs, and they've got cushions and backs, and those places are very flexible and functional because those chairs are there. And so we use them in completely different ways in the overflows to do Bible studies and other things. Well, we think that would be great to do for the rest of our sanctuary so that whole space is more functional. Plus, I think it'll be more comfortable and more flexible and also, again, more accessible. That if we have people with special needs and wheelchairs and walkers, it's going to be way easier for them to be a part of our service if we've got a functional space for them, and we can do that better with chairs. And so that's another big thing that we want to do, and we just think that that's a great step. It's also very welcoming to new people in our community, and so we want to change the seating. The third thing that we want to do, I know there's two more things after that. The third thing that we want to do is we want to make the second floor of our building more accessible to everyone. Right? And so what we want to do is we want to build an elevator type lift on the back stairs. I don't know if you knew if there was back stairs here upstairs, and many of you don't even know that we have an upstairs here at Evangel, but we do. We've got classrooms. This production space is upstairs, and we want everybody in our church to be able to access our whole building. And so we want to build a chair lift so that we can come up the back stairs and it's safe and easy for everyone to access the whole space. So that's the third thing. Number four is that we would like to do a little bit of upgrade to our kitchen. Now, we can't, at this point, we're not talking about replacing the whole kitchen, but I do think that we're spending a lot more time in the kitchen. Right? Because we're having a lot more meals together, and and that's built around connection. And so I think what we want to do mostly is get an industrial dishwasher, a commercial dishwasher, so that people don't spend as much time having to clean dishes, and they can just put it in the dishwasher and then just just be better.
Yeah.
So we want to do that and maybe a few other things if we can, but that's kind of the biggest thing. Last thing that we want to do is be more accessible to our community. And one of the ways that we can do that is by having a better sign out front of our church property. And that will be a digital LED sign. So we'll be able to advertise on that sign what our church is doing. People, as they drive by Sandy Street, I can't believe how busy it is. And the amount of people actually that come to our parking lot, like every day of the week, because of the school, because of the hospital. So many people come into our parking lot and drive by our church. Well, we can use that as a way to communicate with our community, what we're doing, what we're all about. And so that's the fifth update that we want to do. We want to get an LED sign out of the road.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like most of these things, if not all of them, have everything to do with accessibility, functionality within the church, so that we're using all the space properly, fully, and connection. And I could see how all of those things work together. But now we're coming up to where the rubber hits the road, right? I'm going to let you know this right now. As a board member, we have been voted in by the partners and members of the church to make decisions. And I don't think there's been one time that we've ever made a decision without sometimes hours and prayer of thought and talking these things out. We wouldn't even spend a dime until it's right down to the understanding of why and where that's being spent. And this is the question you're all going to ask. What's all this going to cost?
Well, at this point, we're trying to do our very best to cost this out ahead of time. There'll always be things that we don't know or we can't foresee. Sometimes, construction costs and all those kinds of things, we don't really know. We've got quotes, we've got things in our hand, but for the most part, we think it's going to cost around $200,000 in order to do all of those things. And hopefully it doesn't, right? Like we're hoping for it's less, but that's pretty much how much we think it's going to cost. And what we're asking is that you would, as a church, would partner with us to help raise at least half of that as a church, so that we can do these, I feel like, really important updates to our building for accessibility and functionality and really important. And then we would, as a church organization, pay the other half out of the savings and the reserves that we have, that this church has been diligent at saving over the years. And so we don't want to go in debt for this. This is money that's been set aside in order for us to, I think, to do these kind of capital type projects. And so we're asking that you would partner with us to raise $100,000. I know it seems like a lot, but we're believing as a board, and we want you to believe with us and to have faith with us and saying, we believe in that this is an important step for us as a church to take, and we want you to partner with us as we do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about the future, and so we're going to bring that up at the annual business meeting. And if you have any questions, please come and ask me or one of the pastoral staff or one of the board members about, hey, why are we doing this? And we'll be able to share our hearts as to why we want to do this, because we feel like this is what's going to take us into the next season of Evangel Community Church, and that's exciting.
Sure is.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to, if you don't have a chance to come to our annual business meeting, you should, to see what we're doing and be a part of Evangel Community Church.